Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scribo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is the 2nd of September, and it is a Wednesday here in the States, or we could be looking at the 3rd of September and a Thursday in Australia and New Zealand and the other side of the world. So today we have a full moon, in the sign of Pisces. That full moon actually occurred very early in the morning today, 1:23 on the east coast of the U.S. For some people, it occurred actually last night. That full moon is a point of awareness. It's a pretty special full moon, pretty powerful. The moon and the sun were both aspected by Uranus, the planet of change, making a supportive sextile to the moon and a supportive trine to the sun. Uranus touching the full moon bringing a certain amount of awareness. And when we're dealing with Pisces and Virgo, what needs to be healed, where the healing needs to happen, what needs to be healed, that kind of thing, both on a spiritual and a physical level. But Uranus touching the 2 points or the 2 sides of the full moon brought change and a sort of a smooth transition of change, instead of pull the rug out from under you and you find yourself on your back. This was much more of a smooth transition of change. There are a lot of other aspects happening today. Of course, the sun trine Uranus and the moon sextile Uranus became exact shortly after the full moon. And there were some sesquiquadrates going on, which are a little less known aspects, but require us to make adjustments in the way that we think, and some pretty, let's say, vivid examples of how things are changing and shifting. So just as an aside, I know I try not to be too political, but there's something that occurred here in Massachusetts that is an example perhaps of a new awareness, and that is that we had a senatorial primary between Ed Markey, who has been in the Senate, I think, for 9 years. What's significant about Ed Markey is that he is a progressive. He was the senator that backed the Green New Deal with the House Representative AOC, and he's like really quite progressive. And he was running against Kennedy, Joe Kennedy III, who, of course, is part of the Kennedy dynasty, and who was backed by Nancy Pelosi. So he won by like 30, I think he got 60% of the vote to 40% of the vote. And what that shows is a sea change, in that people are definitely moving in a more progressive direction. And this is actually good news for progressives, because this kind of energy is going to influence, I think, how Biden, if he does get in, is going to have to work with the more progressive wing of the Democratic Party. It is the party of the youth. It was he won in a lot of college towns. He won in a lot of bedroom communities. He also won Boston, which is interesting. So things are changing, things are shifting, and it's not that Joe Kennedy is necessarily a terrible candidate, but he was part of the old guard, and the old guard, even in the Democratic Party, is falling away. And so we can see this in black and white, really, as to how our awareness is shifting, how people's consciousness is changing, and how we're sort of moving into a more Aquarian way of being, right? I am my brother and sister's keeper. We have to work together to make the world a better place. We can't depend on these people at the top who are really just interested in themselves, their own dynasties, and their own relevancy. What's relevant is what's relevant to the people, and the shift is happening and occurring. We just have to keep moving in the direction of the shift where we are really taking care of one another. I mean, that's kind of that is the future. It's a much more collective future. It's a much less violent future. It's a much more cooperative future, and it's a future that I'm happy to live in, quite frankly. All right, guys, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that. We have a beautiful, sort of coolish, cloudy morning here. There's a nice breeze. All the jewel weed, that's what you see over there. Right there, sorry. I'm not actually looking to see where I'm going on the camera. But that is jewel weed, and it's so pretty. It's fun to play with, and the hummingbirds do love it. So, all right, guys, take care, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Love you.